Discover the near-magical method to lose unwanted belly fat naturally and safely while you sleep, without starving yourself and without doing any exercise more strenuous than making a cup of tea. I stood glaring into the fridge. The thought of choking down another dry, tasteless breakfast was just too much. Screw it. I quit. I stifled a sob. Surrendered to my craving. Reached for the milk, and grabbed my daughter's box of Lucky Charms without a word. My husband Todd just fetched us each a bowl and spoon. He knew the drill, another defeat in a war we were slowly but surely losing. He looked what I felt like. Guilty, tired, frustrated, depressed and so darn hungry. I reached down, grabbed the roll around my belly and looked back at my cereal bowl. It was all I could do not to scream or sob. Todd and I had been locked in a hopeless battle with our creeping belly fat for years. Thing is, for the most part, we eat healthy. We exercise together. And we've tried all the diets. Low carb, low fat, paleo, calorie counting. Not to mention all the fancy diets like. We spent thousands of dollars we couldn't afford on the salary of 2 cops and nothing worked. No matter how hard we tried, no matter how much money we wasted, no matter how many nutritionists and specialists we saw. Unexplainably, we just kept getting a tiny bit fatter every month. Every year. Then the shocking reason for it, which has almost nothing to do with your diet, along with the simple solution I stumbled on, is about to lift a terrible weight from your shoulders. A weight I had been carrying for so long, and that nearly crushed me on that horrible morning. So can you blame me if I felt like smashing something or just getting back in bed and sobbing myself back to sleep? Because it had been another rough night. I was exhausted and I could tell that Todd was too. Plus, I could see shame in his eyes. Because it happened again last night. His monsters took over. The terrible and lingering scars of decades on the SWAT team. He was thrashing and sweating. I tried to wake him from his suffering. Which is when he came within an inch of punching me in the face. He barely came to his senses before his fist connected, wrenching his arm back just in time. But I could see the shame eating at him. Not just because he almost hit me, but because it had been going on for so long. And was taking a toll. What he didn't know, what I'd been hiding from him, trying to protect him, is that even on most nights, when he thought he was sleeping well, he would toss and turn all night in a shallow sleep, reliving the terrors that haunt him. And I'd go to bed every night hoping desperately to get a decent sleep. And as you're about to discover, I soon learned a shocking truth, that our poor sleep was devastating to our health. And even more shocking, it had everything to do with our creeping belly fat. Not to mention I couldn't remember the last time we'd snuggled or even held each other. And our intimacy just felt like a distant memory. So pay close attention. Because what I'm about to reveal will change your life in every way that counts. Even if you think you get a good night's sleep every night. Because what I discovered is brand new research revealing that at least 67% of folks unknowingly suffer from a specific type of sleep disruption. And that most people aren't even aware that it is happening to them. Specifically, if you are 40 or older, then you are probably getting up to 70% less of one precise form of deep sleep that is critical to losing weight and protecting your health. And that even the lucky few who only suffer from slight disruption of this unique form of sleep are getting pummeled with depressing, serious and devastating long-term side effects. Side effects that scared me, and made me finally understand that our creeping weight gain had almost nothing to do with diet and exercise. So if you suffer from unexplained weight gain or runaway cravings, you're going to want to watch this next bit very carefully. Because it is not your fault. And I'm about to share with you some simple and slight shifts to your daily routine, along with an amazing and super comforting superfood tea recipe that will instantly allow you to reclaim a specific form of sleep that turns your fat-burning hormones back on while quickly reversing symptoms of declining health. You see, even a slight shortfall in this specific type of sleep can lead to unexplained weight gain. Sadly, this is so common. Runaway hunger and cravings. And we had lots of those. A frustrating lack of concentration and focus. Nagging feelings of being tired all the time. And much more. Much worse complications. This is what happens in your body when you are not getting a specific type of deep sleep. First, here's what's happening to your body when you are shortchanged on the precise type of restorative sleep. Even if you're in bed for 8 hours and think you're sleeping well, unless you're getting this specific type of sleep, you're going to be affected. First of all, any disruption in your sleep is going to make you hungry all the time. That's because unhealthy sleep messes with your hunger hormones. First, there's leptin, a hormone released by fat cells as a signal to the brain that you are full. Recent studies in humans have shown that shallow sleep wrecks the release of this hormone. Your body misreads this and thinks you're in a state of famine that causes runaway hunger. Which explains why you're hungry all the time even when you're getting all the right nutrients from a healthy diet. However, that's not all. Next up is ghrelin, basically the opposite of leptin. Ghrelin ramps up your appetite. And any disruption of your sleep quality drives it through the roof. If you've ever had even short periods of bad sleep, you've probably noticed this increase in hunger for yourself. Imagine trying to stay strong on any kind of diet when your hormones are telling you all day long that you're starving. Now, if only that were the worst thing your hormones were doing. 'Cause there's more. Did you know a hormone called cortisol has been shown to directly deposit fat on your belly? And guess what? Each night of low-quality sleep adds up over time and drives up your cortisol. Not only does this inflate your belly fat, it interferes with learning and memory, it lowers immune function and bone density, it drives up blood pressure and cholesterol, it increases the chance of heart disease, depression, mental illness. I could keep going, but you get the picture. Chronically elevated cortisol is just plain bad, and no matter how good you are on your diet, you can't lose weight while high cortisol is sabotaging you. Now, if the hormonal problems weren't enough, a lack of critical, deep sleep sabotages something called your RER and causes your body to burn lean tissue for energy instead of stored fat. Now, RER is your respiratory exchange rate, which is basically the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide that happens when you breathe. When your sleep cycles get messed up, your RER gets shifted and bad things happen. A recent study revealed that a wonky RER from interrupted sleep cycles resulted in the loss of lean muscle tissue instead of fat when calories were restricted. In other words, both groups in this study lost the same amount of weight, but the group with poor sleep cycles did not lose any fat, instead they lost valuable lean muscle while still storing more body fat. And get this, losing lean muscle means you burn fewer calories and you find it even harder to lose weight. It's a vicious cycle. So even though you're eating right, it can all go out the window if you don't have the right amount of this very specific phase of sleep. And it's not just about how you look. Even though reclaiming this specific form of deep sleep will flatten your belly, what's more important is that your very health is at stake. Poor quality sleep is now proven to be more destructive to your body than smoking. Heck, at least smokers usually don't suffer from unexplained belly fat. And doctors don't really have a clue about this massive new health hazard.